has Matt Nagy named a starter for the Bears? Did I miss that amongst the hoopla? The Belichick, Brady, Seth Wickersham hoopla? Did we miss that?
I am in one track mode right now.
I know that, but
doesn't involve Tom Brady. I'm like,
I don't think he has. Like, so what's going on there?
Well, because Dalton do I understand this? Dalton can play on Sunday?
We honestly, like, we're literally hitting the old Google machine right now, Jeff.
Yeah, hit it for me.
And we're not seeing anything.
So Andy Dalton, Jeff, was limited on Wednesday, and Fields did practice yesterday although he's dealing with a hand.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though is that like I actually thought this was kind of playing out not perfectly in the sense that the game was absolutely awful, but that Matt Nagy could get Justin Fields in the game and be able to go back to Andy Dalton without making this like a Tua Fitzpatrick deal from last year. Like he can go back to Dalton and be like, I told you guys when he's healthy, he's got the job back. Now I understand it's all a facade, and eventually we need to see Justin Fields in better form than we saw him last week. But I do think that this is a better scenario than having to go back to Dalton because Fields isn't playing well.
But why is Bill Lazor? I guess they decided I need a guy calling plays with a freaking laser. So I mean, what you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's a weird deal.
It is like the coach is going to make the decisions. He's making the decisions, and he was brought in to call the plays, and he wins Coach of the Year because he's calling the plays and dialing it up for Trubisky. And then it doesn't work out with Trubisky, and then we'll go to Foles, and Trubisky's gone, and then we're going to draft Justin Fields, and he's going to decide who to start, and then it's Fields' game, and then the day after, the week after Fields gets sacked 9 times.
Yep.
It's the play calling. Now, is that just his way of taking the pressure off of the kid? Or saying, Lazor, you might do a better job. I need to focus on the defense. Or I don't. The administration. I just don't get that one. That part of it.
The scary part of all of this for Bears fans is that when you have a situation where the head coach is so clearly on the hot seat, and so too, by the way, is the general manager, decisions start to get made not for the best interest of necessarily the player, but the best interest of self-preservation. And I think that Nagy has tried to do a good job of trying to say, look, Justin Fields is not ready yet. But at the same time, every decision that he now makes, we're all going to be like, well, is that just because you're trying to keep your job, or is this actually the best situation to put the Bears in?
Jeff Darlington here on the Rich Eisen Show. Honestly, I would, I would be bringing it up if it wasn't my show that kind of sparked it. But down there in South Florida, we had Trent Dilfer on the program, and I asked him about Tua since he's been, with Tua since the Elite 11 years, and he's been the guy that every single time we come on the show, he's kind of our Tua whisperer. He was coaching him up prior to the draft, after his surgery, and just asking him about, the Tua, I guess, indifference sometimes, and the Tua hate as well.
Yeah.
And his response was, well, it looks like they got a good situation around him roster-wise, and Charlie Fry calling the plays. And everyone's like, well, he's not the offensive coordinator, actually.
Yeah.
And so what is the deal, and who is actually calling the plays down in South Florida for the Dolphins?
That's a good question. I think that this was sort of the I'm not trying to steer around your answer too much, but I kind of have to, because this is sort of the downside of having co-offensive coordinators, and why this also seems kind of so suspicious. I can tell you who's not calling the plays, Chan Gailey, and he took all the heat last year for Tua's underwhelming performance. So the problem for Tua is if that continues, if you can't turn the corner soon. Now you've changed offensive coordinators, you've put the players around him, and unfortunately, the blame is going to fall squarely on his shoulders, whether that's fair, whether he's had enough time to develop or not.
And as long as Deshaun Watson is not on a commissioner's exempt list, or having his case handled in a way that makes him unavailable, whether as a football player or as a citizen in the society, right? Yep. It's entirely possible that something's on the table for for October. Like, how much does this bear watching this month before the trade deadline in the first couple of days of November?
Well, it's certainly significant, and not only that, but what's happening with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, and seeing what happens if Week 1 was a better indicator of what we're going to see from him, or Week 3. So suddenly, Deshaun has made clear that he'll waive his trade clause to go to the Dolphins, and it doesn't appear that he'd do the same for the Eagles. But if the Texans are sitting there saying we can get 5 first-round, if the price just starts going up, they're going to be more reluctant to just do what Watson wants. So the more suitors that become available, the more intriguing this absolutely gets. And it does feel like as this season progresses and we see some maybe more mediocre quarterback play than we expected, Deshaun Watson will be absolutely a name on the list, on the tip of every tongue in every fan base across the league.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.